Comment ça va, chef? Welcome to the Bon Ton Cooking Show. I'm Chef Harley Fontenot, better known as the Parrain, and today we're having us a Cajun breakfast. We're gonna do some shit on a shingle and some Pain Perdu. Now, what you're gonna need for this? Alright, for your shit on a shingle, you're gonna need some ground breakfast sausage, some onions, some biscuits, Cajun seasoning, garlic powder and onion powder, some chicken base, some black pepper, some cornstarch, and a gallon of milk. All right, for your Pain Perdu, you're gonna need some eggs, some butter, regular sugar and confectionate sugar, a loaf of bread, vanilla, and ground cinnamon, and a gallon of milk. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is put your biscuits in the oven. And whatever kind of biscuits you like to do, just follow the package. And then after that, we're gonna cut our onions. Alright, so after you peel your onions, what you're going to do is heat you up a little pot. Pour you a little bit of grease in that, just enough to fry your onions and your sausage. And I'm using bacon grease, but you could use whatever grease you got. And once your pot gets hot, test it with your little onions. And when it sizzles, it's ready. And dump in your onions. And while you're frying up your onions, because you're going to cook them till they get brown tips and they're a little clear, you're going to slice open your sausage and have that ready. Now that your onions are cooked down, you're going to put your breakfast sausage in there. Comme ça. And you just want to break that up with your spoon real good and mix it all in there with your onions. And if you want a real fancy spoon like Parrain got, where you got designs cut out into the spoon like that, go to senorwood.com. And it's important to know that while your sausage is in there, you want to keep your heat at a medium to low. And don't do that. And after you cook that down, you want to drain your grease off the top if there's a lot of it. And then you're going to add your milk. For that 1 pack of breakfast sausage, I use like about a third of a gallon of milk. Almost half. And you want to turn your fire up to a medium-high heat and then start adding your seasonings. Now the first thing you want to add is about a tablespoon of chicken base. Then you want to add a little Cajun seasoning, but that base is a little salty, so be mindful of that. Then you want a little onion powder, garlic powder, and some black pepper. And what you want to do is wait till this kind of comes to a boil. Then once you do, you're going to stir in some cornstarch and water, and I'm going to show y'all how to do that. Alright, right here in this bowl we got 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And what you want to do is make what they call a slurry. And you pour a little bit of water. Always add the water to your cornstarch so you don't get the mixture wrong. And you mix it up real good. And once your milk is boiling, what you're gonna do is add this to it, and it's gonna thicken it. Then you're gonna just pour that in here. And once you do that, you want to turn your fire back down to a medium and stir it real good. So once you stir that in there and cook it down, it's gonna get tick ball. See, that cornstarch almost works like magic. It's good to use if you like baking a turkey and you mix that into your gravy and cook it on the stove a little while. It'll get real thick like that. And you pour that over your little meat. So at this point you need to taste it and see if you need to add anything, and just add a little bit at a time, because once you put it you can't take it out. And now, as long as you don't have no lumps in there and it tastes like you want, you just put it on low and you let it sit while you do the rest of your breakfast. So while that's cooking down, I'm gonna tell y'all a little joke. So one night Boudreaux and Thibodeau was sitting at the bayou relaxing, drinking a cold one. And Thibodeau looked at Boudreaux. He said, "Boudreaux, look up. Tell me what you see." He said, "May I see some stars, and I see the moon, and you know, just nighttime." He said, "No, look again and tell me what you see." He said, "Man, the weather's gonna be good tomorrow. There's not many clouds and stuff." He said, "No, Boudreaux, somebody stole our tent." Now that we got all that cooked, what we're gonna do is work on our Pain Perdu. And basically what that pretty much is French toast the Cajun way. So your ratio from eggs to milk is usually 1 egg to 1/4 a cup of milk. So I'm gonna do 6 eggs, and that's 1.5 cups. So after you crack your 6 eggs in there, you're gonna put, I know that seems like a lot, but you're gonna put like 1/2 cup of sugar in there. Then you're gonna sprinkle some cinnamon, about like a teaspoon, and about a teaspoon of vanilla. And you beat that together before you add your milk. Then what you're gonna do is add your 1.5 cups of milk to it. And keep in mind, like, if you're not doing a whole lot of French toast, don't do this much. That's why I gave you the ratio in the beginning. You kind of adjust from there. I'm just gonna make a lot because I'm a groupement. And also, once you add your milk, add another 1/2 cup of sugar. So that's a full cup total that you're gonna put in there. Because you want it to be so sweet that you don't have to add powdered sugar or syrup to the top of that. It's gonna be sweet on its own. All right, so I'm making this on my little griddle thing, but you can just do this in a skillet. Just keep it on a kind of low heat. And the best way to test your heat is bring your stick of butter across from that, and don't put it in your pocket this time. You don't want it to be soft. When you drag that across and see it's bubbling up and it melts real easy, that's when it's ready. You don't want to burn all the sugar that's on your cinnamon toast. And make sure every time you go to dip your bread in there, once your thing is hot, to mix it up real good before you do it, because you want all that stuff not to settle to the bottom. You want to get all that goodness in each piece that you put in there. So you dip it and you stick it on there. And see, this will work just the same as your skillet, except I can put a lot more at one time, and that's good because I end up eating them before I finish them anyway. All right, when you see they got a little brown on each side, just turn over. So now that we cooked it on each side, we're gonna flip it over one more time, because there's a lot of eggs in that, and you wanna make sure it's cooked all the way through. And that's about how you want it to come out looking, but you want it like that on both sides. And once they get like that, you take them off, and it's time to mange. Join us next time on the Bon Ton Cooking Show where we're doing our crawfish étouffée. Until next time, Parrain loves you.